very good morning to all of you, and currently we are here at Akego, and this is the Nagaland Off-road chapter expedition powered by Wander Beyond Boundaries, an initiative of the Govt of Nagaland, Dept of Tourism. This is the fifth day. This is the final day, and it's a pretty humbling day because we've got a whole day right back to Dimapur. The expedition team has been successful in achieving its targets on a daily basis. Today, on the way, we'll be stopping at Chizami, where the Chizami weaving group will be showcasing their tradition of weaving. We travel from Akego to Chizami, which takes about 5 hours. The weather out here is like frantically, not that cold, but yes, it's very chilly. So yes, viewers, this off-road expedition has opened the eyes of so many things. So we hope that you can also be a part of It is 5 days exploring new places, going to the hinterlands of Nagaland, and throughout this expedition we've got a very special member here with us. He is the youngest member of this first Nagaland off-road expedition team, and we'll try and get his experience and also what his views are about the places that we've visited so far.
My name is Avik, and I'm currently in class 11 studying in a boarding school in Nainital. This experience has been really unique. As you know, Nagaland, the northeast, is not really that well explored, and where I'm coming from, people say a lot of bad things, mean things, and it has been a really eye-opening experience for me. And I can certainly say a lot of myths have been busted that were in my head, and it has been really fun so far. People here are so hospitable, and it's really felt like home. People were so accommodating, and at every place, in fact, people have gone out of their way to make sure that I've been comfortable. The one thing that has been etched in my mind is certainly the beauty and the people, and most importantly the people. It has been a really good experience meeting so many people, learning about the culture, and absolutely, if I'm asked if I would come again, I would definitely come again. As far as the journey is concerned, I loved it. And as far as the initiative, I feel it is a really good initiative by the Department of Tourism, and it will help open up Nagaland to a lot of people, a huge, audience, and it will really help them, explore Nagaland. We're afraid of things we do not know. And, if Nagaland is more accessible to travelers, I feel that people will start to appreciate Nagaland for beauty, and it will be more explored.
My name is Prasad Ikhar. I am the DOP and editor at Curly Tales, which is a food and travel platform. Specifically about this drive to Nagaland, what I can say is it's really a off-road. Like there is no part of any luxury or any what we can say. It is a most raw experience, I must say. The rawest, if there is a word. Everywhere people are same. We made the boundaries, so I don't feel like we recently visit the borders also, so I don't feel like there is any difference. And the people here, like by just looking at them, I have a ear-to-ear smile. Sharing if I want a water, I want any fruit or anything, they was like, yes, take it, it's yours. Like there is no second question asked. This is just a teaser, this is just a reiki. I will really want to come back again with full time. This is just a 7-day, which is, I feel like, not enough for me to explore everything.
Alright, so that was his experience, and yes, speaking to the guests, living with them, and experiencing this whole journey, I believe like our travelers have actually seen the purpose of the Nagaland Off-road expedition, and yes, they're all smiles. And imagine 7 days is not enough. Hi, the Nagaland Off-road expedition that started on the 7th has reached its 5th day and its final day, in which the expedition team, we are currently in Chizami. We've had some grueling 5 days of travel, and we've gotten to villages from Peg. We started in Kisama, we entered Peg, spent the night at Kapamozo. From Kapamozo went over to Meluri, spent time at Akhego too, and we are on our way back to our starting point, which is the Dimapur. Well, this Nagaland Off-road chapter is an initiative of the Dept of Tourism, Govt of Nagaland, and everything that happened on this expedition could not have happened without the organization called Wonder Beyond Boundaries. Well, this expedition is a one-of-a-kind initiative, and the person responsible for this magnificent and enormous and such a big task was none other than the founder of the Wonder Beyond Boundaries, Ma'am Nidhi. Well, she's currently with me. This is the 5th and final day. Alright, ma'am, just at the outset, it's the final day where we are going back to the place we started our journey from. How relieved are you, and what are your emotions at the moment?
I think I'm relieved that we have managed to put Nagaland Off-road together. We've delivered what we promised. But more than that, I think I'm filled with hope today and gratitude today, if you talk of emotions. Gratitude to just the people of Nagaland, the ones who have helped us, who've let us stay in their homes, fed us, been so kind to us, been selfless, and taught us so much. Gratitude for them, and just hope and frizzy excitement within me on wanting to know how this is all going to translate. We've taken a huge step and built Nagaland Off-road to this level, made it a reality. We've brought out the guidebook, the app, the website is up and running, the fleet of self-drive cars have been established, and now there's just hope. And not just from me, but every person that we've touched, met, impacted. I think we're all now waiting for the world to come here.
All right, ma'am. This, as we were talking, I think this would be I think this is the largest team you've ever taken. And ma'am, what is so unique about this particular team?
You know, this is the first time journalists have come on a drive from mainland India, from, you know, the big cities, from mainstream publications. For the first time, they've come on a drive to the interiors of Nagaland, the real Nagaland like I know it. You know, it's not Kohima, it's not Dimapur, it's not Hornbill, but it is to explore, witness, experience real, authentic, raw Naga culture, raw lands, remote lands, and to kind of, you know, feel the vibe of the place. And I think that's what makes this drive unique, because never before have we had journalists enter the heartland.
The most challenging part of this, for me personally, being part of this whole expedition team, was the journey and the roads that we took. Ma'am, what kind of an effort did you guys have to make to actually curate such beautiful tracks, and also what kept you going and motivated? Because trust me, on the journey at times I could not believe that there were tracks like that. So what motivated you to keep going on, and what kept you ticking?
I think it started with a first of its kind challenge, let me be honest. That's what kickstarts everything in me, when it's never been done before. But what kept us committed, without doubt, were the people we met on the road. In remote villages, people who had nothing to do with us, but were filled with so much kindness and looked at us with such hope. And I think just to be able to, you know, give back to them, to see that we see it through, to see that we complete the journey, to see that we deliver. I think the pressure, the motivation, the inspiration, all of it came from people in the heartland.
Actually, this was the Explore Peg chapter, in which we spent a night in the Chakasang area, and we went on ahead to the more remote parts of Meluri, Avangku, Akhego, and we met the Puchuri tribe too. Ma'am, you have created 46 tracks, and this is just Peg. You've basically just gone all over the districts and you've actually created tracks. So what kind of a challenge did you have to face, like, while making such tracks? And also, what was the kind of reception you were getting while creating those tracks?
You know, the challenges to begin with was just the fact that there was no information, period. All we had were paper maps, not even on paper, in fact, they were just high-res files handed out by the GIS department. And by the way, they were brilliant. We had no complaints. But beyond that, as information, as what to see, how to curate these trails, I think the how part of it, how do we assemble these villages together in a way that it made sense? How do we balance the challenge level out? How do we, you know, keep the interest of the prospective traveler? I think that was, it took some time to figure that out. The first district we did was Perin, and then we went on to Pek, and then Kifre, and so on, we moved on. So I think the challenge was, an off-road guidebook or a curation of this sort at such a massive scale had never been done anywhere in the world. So what was our reference point? Not having a reference point was freaking us out initially, to be honest. And then when we started, like, one by one, we encountered extreme tracks where it was just the forest in us. I think the biggest challenge was in these off-road sections was the equipment that we were carrying, but the most calming factor was the enthusiasm and how people from the villages joined hands, because for them it smelt of hope. And they said, you know, so your kind people, what if more people like you come in? We loved evening conversations around the fire in the kitchens, in remote villages, many in which we were the first ones to go. And it is their aspiration, their seeking, their enthusiasm that just kept us going. And then came the rains. We were to complete this before Hornbill. So weather was a huge challenge because we saw landslides and we lost count. Then we had an incident in the field and one of our vehicles went down and it had to be retrieved. And then even just sourcing spare parts for our vehicles has been a challenge. I think, like I said during the launch drive, in front of the Honorable CM, Nagaland Off-road has just been the journey between nahi sakega to sakega. Because everything was nahi sakega from the word go. It almost felt like it was recipe for disaster. That's how people read it wherever we went. Be it friends and family, be it government circles, be it wherever. But I think Commissioner Secretary Tourism, Mr. Kito Zumomi, his belief and faith in us is what propelled us to a large extent. Our finances were a challenge, the money didn't get released for a while. Meeting people. So one was challenges in the field, and then to find the right team. Who would endure this kind of hardship day in and day out for months together to see that the project meets completion? And that was a challenge to keep the manpower in the field. For that, I'm grateful to my team, but most importantly, I'm grateful to a small bunch of volunteers who were connected with me back in my off-roading days in Bangalore, who came in and just filled the gap. I think Nagaland Off-road has been a collective effort of many, many well-meaning people. And that's the beauty about the whole initiative.
Another aspect of it, and which was truly enriching and truly really inspiring, was the involvement of the village councils and the respective GBs. All right, ma'am, one of the major problems that Nagaland is facing is also the unemployment sector. So through this initiative of the Nagaland Off-road, how can youths now use this opportunity or platform to actually, instead of looking for a government job, actually find a job in actually promoting tourism and exploring Nagaland?
I think the youth in the villages are best suited to literally take Nagaland Off-road from here to the next level. Because at the end of the day, these are young people speaking English, which is a novelty in remote areas, by the way, world over, who speak English, who are smart, who have an appetite for, growth. And these are the people who can now, become tour guides, who can start homestays, who can start garages, who can start just offering tours. It's all been mapped out, the contact info is there. Now it's a matter of you all taking the initiative. And I think even when travelers reach a village, it's the youth, the student union, the student organizations who can make a huge difference to take the traveler into the psyche, the mindset, the nuances of life in the village. And believe you me, that is valuable for well-meaning travelers like myself and insightful and just offers fresh perspective, which incidentally only they can provide since they are residents of the village. So how beautiful is it? You have a need and you have a bunch who are capable of doing it. Now it is about taking the initiative and seeing that the two marry.
All right, another amazing factor about this whole journey was also being a Naga myself, going to new places, and which I thought never existed. So ma'am, in a way, do you think like this initiative could further be promoted or further be maximized to its full potential if our own Naga youth start going to places like that?
Yes, for a start, this is something I noticed and I found it quite peculiar. Because most Nagas themselves, the ones I met in Dimapur and Kohima, or even the ones in the interiors, while everybody has seen Dimapur and Kohima, it's not vice versa. So I think for a start, Nagas are motorheads, and I would love for them to explore these trails themselves. You wouldn't need a Switzerland and a Maldives if you camped a night in Kapamudzu to see that phenomenal sunrise which just fills you with wonder and awe. And that is here in Nagaland. Why are we looking elsewhere?
This was a 7-day expedition trial and we are in the final leg of it. And also ma'am, so this is, the expedition was quite challenging. So would you call this a conventional mode of tourism, and what is the niche? What kind of travelers are you expecting, and what should a traveler who wants to be a part of the Nagaland off-road, what should they be prepared for?
Nagaland is not for the tourist. Let me put it plain and simple. This is not for the regular tourist or the tourism industry, so to speak. In my head and heart, I truly believe it is for travelers who don't mind being uncomfortable in order to seek new experiences, authentic ones, to experience pristine beauty, to get a peep into lives that they don't lead but are valuable to know of, just to calibrate their own way of looking at travel, looking at life for that matter. Those are the people who should be coming here. You don't have your hotels, you don't have your lodges, you don't have graded accommodation, you don't have your tour guides, you don't have all of that. But what you have is a wealth in itself. What you have is unexplored area that feels virgin, pristine, and where you are able to be the explorer and the adventurer. How many areas in this country do we have that can give you this vibe? And that's Nagaland. But yes, it doesn't have a lot of the conventional stuff. What it has is precious and very, very proud.
In one of the days during the expedition, you also spoke about how this whole drive of the Nagaland off-road is also exploring the unexplored and also exploring yourself. So, ma'am, could you give us a gist of what you tried, what you actually meant?
You know, it came out in one of our evening meetings where after 2 nights, the team just felt so overwhelmed and overjoyed to just see a plug point in a room or a mattress in a room. And I thought, how beautiful. I think such travel just teaches you to be grateful for simple things that you have and appreciate things that you don't have. In Zapami the other day, you know, we were appreciating how the youth in the village are taking the initiative to rekindle the sense of pride and, you know, to carry on with showcasing tradition and all of that. How many of us really connect with our roots back in the urban areas? Isn't this insight valuable then, wherein you see a bunch of young people doing it and you feel so proud, and it gets you thinking, what are my roots? And honestly, I don't have clear answers like the Naga youth in Zapami had. Or for that matter, yesterday we were driving from Laruri towards Akhego, and we happened to see this pickup that had, you know, while reversing, it had fallen off the cliff and was sitting on the chassis with 2 wheels in the air. And we stopped and we helped them. And this comes naturally to us having been in Nagaland for a year and a half. The feeling is mutual. You are on the road, we help others. When we are stuck in the forest, they help us. But it was interesting when the team recognized how selfless it felt. How many times back in the city do you end up stopping selflessly to help somebody who's in trouble? This is the value this kind of travel brings. It is these lessons that you take home for life, and which is why it is so meaningful and it offers such an incredible landscape for growth at a very personal level.
For the viewers who have actually watched everything, the journey from the start at Dimapur to now here at Chizami, and somebody who's actually itching to actually be part of the Nagaland Off-road chapter, what is the first thing he should do?
The first thing you should do is log on to nagalandoffroad.com. That's your start point for information. The website has a lot of details district-wise. It has routes, that have been listed, graded. It has detailed descriptions. It has all of that. You pick a route, and then you have selfdrivenagaland.com, which is where you can hire a self-drive 4x4 from us, rent it out, pick a route, explore the hinterland. We could even guide you through the process and then come back and return the vehicle. I think in addition, you can buy a copy of the guidebook. You'll find ways to do that through the website. And mind you, Nagaland Off-road app is now live. It's on Google Play Store. Please download it. It also has navigation assistance, not your ideal Google navigation, but we've mapped out lat long, and it will show you your geoposition, and basis that you will be able to navigate where Google doesn't even recognize these tracks and roads. So that's what you ought to do. We've done our hard work. Now, how about you doing yours? Nagaland, I always say this. It's almost like I can hear myself saying it 24/7. Nagaland has some of the most welcoming, hospitable, warm, affectionate people that this country has. And why am I so hopeful that this initiative will succeed? Because I truly believe that these are beautiful people who are waiting to be met, who are extremely welcoming. But yes, to get to them, there is challenge involved, there is discomfort involved, there is all of that. But mind you, the journey is never going to let you down. It will be worthwhile, provided you are coming here with an open mind to experience growth.
That was the organizer, and that she is an electric lady who, trust me, she is basically the definition of women empowerment. Well, as you've seen our journey on this expedition, we hope that you can find some peace, and also we hope that it strikes your curiosity so that you want to come and explore the unexplored. Well, Nagaland, this is a tourism department initiative by the government of Nagaland, and looking at how ma'am just spoke to us and looking at how receptive the people were, we believe that this Nagaland Off-road chapter is going to be a huge success in the coming days. And with all happy faces of the expedition team, I think their travel here, or rather their taking part in this Nagaland Off-road, has been a total and grand success.
We've come this far, we've been as efficient, and at 7 o'clock plus in the morning, we're here post breakfast. We've come a long way from day one to now. And to put this together, and I think journeys are about learning, it's about recalibrating life for us. And we're really happy that we've come together this way, right?
Alright, sadly the Nagaland Off-road has ended. This is the last day, and we've got our travelers now going back to their homes, and we expect and we hope that their stories are going to be brilliant, and that so many people listen to their stories and create a picture in their mind as to how Nagaland is.
My name is Suprita Mitter. I work for a whole bunch of publications in Bombay and Pune, mainly print, including magazines like Onana's Traveller and Midday. Nagaland has been a complete eye-opener. I had no idea what to expect when I was signing up for this trip. There was a kind of brief as to what will come our way, but the place and the people is not something you can put in a document to explain till you get here, you won't know. I'm only hoping that more people see merit in going a little extra mile. It is far from a lot of places. It is not as easy to get to, but it is so worth it that I'm just hoping that they make the effort to get here and they won't regret it. They'll find stuff that they can look up to for a lifetime.
Alright, normally, ma'am, like as a lone woman traveler or as a woman, normally there's a perception that, you know, this place is not safe, you know, or this place has a lot of history. As you as a woman traveler, how safe did you feel in Nagaland?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, some of our metros are not as safe as, you know, we travel from them to come here. This is much safer, much nicer, all myth.
So do you think there are more women travelers who can come here and experience the rural and traditional heritage of the Nagas and literally go back safely, ma'am?
Women travelers and more importantly, women solo travelers can also be here. There's a lot to do for people who are looking to take a break, to discover themselves, to spend some quality time on their own. They couldn't ask for a better location. The place is spectacular, it is scenic, it's beautiful. You find that here and you find that elsewhere. But I think truly what makes Nagaland special is the people.
Sir has been a wonderful person throughout the journey. His knowledge, his calmness, his expertise and his poise has always stood out in this whole journey.
My name is Sundar and I'm a senior communications professional. I write for a couple of national publications. I'm also a travel professional and I'm very keenly take interest in covering tourism and destination marketing, and which is what brings me to Nagaland. And you were right, Akihito. First I had never thought that I would set foot in Nagaland as the first state in the entire Northeast. And this is such a stunning and beautiful place. And considering my experience in the last 7 years, you have such beautiful nature. And the people are so warm and inviting and welcoming, which was quite an experience for me. Because you know very little about Nagaland, there's not much in the news and there's very little information anywhere else. So it's hard to find what Nagaland actually is. So this experience of 7 days I carry with me that this place is one of the most stunningly beautiful place, lush green, especially the villages are so pristine and so well maintained. And the people couldn't have been better. I mean, in my entire travel experience, I think this is one of the most kindest and warmest places I have witnessed. Yeah, so coming about the entire experience of driving off-roads, which is a very unique experience. I think no other state has ever done this before. And also they don't have the off-roads like what you have. So it's making the best of what you have and what you don't have also. I think that's very strategically important. So I think Nagaland has chosen to do what it can do the best in the given circumstances and in the given kind of environment. So I really wish the best for Nagaland tourism. The experience has been exhilarating in the last 7 days rather, and I myself drove for 2 continuous days, and I think the air around makes you much more comforting. The whole journey is so comforting that you don't feel fatigued or tired at all. And to add to the icing, the top on the icing of the cake, I think when you land at a village or a place, is the warmth with which people welcome you and greet you. You forget all the experiences and up things that you had to face in the journey. So it's really a great place, and I really would ask other keen travelers to look Nagaland as a viable option to gather some more experience and have a lifetime of memory.
Hi, so my name is Muskan Gupta. I am a freelance journalist, a travel journalist based out of Delhi, and I write for a couple of publications.
Hi, I'm Divya Bhatia and I'm editor for Travel Trade Insider, but apart from Travel Trade Insider, I also write for Aviation Times.
Before coming here, I mean, it was always known that Nagaland is a beautiful place, but I did not personally have an idea of Nagaland beyond Dimapur and Kohima. These are places where we know this is the Hornbill destination and how the city and town just lights up. We've always heard how going to the town you'll see Christmas lights decorate up the entire zone and how that becomes very thrilling. But when we received our itinerary, we found out that Dimapur is just a stop where we will be lodging in for one day, then moving on to Kohima just for a quick stop over at Hornbill, and rest of the trip was going to be on a road and the land was unseen. Nagaland Off-road brought us into this zone of this was a trip for the discerning traveler, we were told. We were told to set our expectations to expect bumpy roads, murky roads, trails where the vehicle doesn't go. So it was just in our heads, and at least I know for a fact that I do not know how it's going to pan out for the next day, but I was every day just very excited on having a new adventure come my way.
What you ma'am?
So when we got this itinerary, before that Nagaland, we never heard it. It was never on our tourist map apart from Hornbill Festival. So I was really looking forward to see what is there in Nagaland to offer to a traveler like us and how safe it is, because people every time when it comes to Nagaland, people talk about it's not a safe destination. So after coming here and on this travel, what I realized is all the myths which are there, it's absolutely untrue. Nagaland is one of the most safe places, especially for the women solo travelers. It is a heaven. You can just, even if it's late at night, you will not feel uncomfortable. Wherever you went, people are welcoming you and they'll make you safe. I mean, I think this is definitely a heaven for the women travelers. And there is a lot to explore. I think I've still not had enough. I just been to few places and I want to see more of it. And the kind of thrill, the kind of adventure Nagaland has to offer, it can beat all the destinations. So just look forward for the same.
Hi, my name is Neha. I am a travel influencer from Mumbai, and this is my first time in Nagaland.
So ma'am, this Nagaland Off-road, I don't know whether you've heard it before or not, but this is a Department of Tourism initiative. What's your experience been like? Basically 7 days of rigorous traveling. What's it been like?
It's been different. It's been adventurous. It's been thrilling, to say the least. And I got to see the beauty of Nagaland like I've never seen before. This is not just my first time in Nagaland, it's my first time in the whole of Northeast. So everything from, the mountains to the sunrise, the sunset, the food, the people and their smiles were my most favorite thing in Nagaland for sure. So it's been a great time here. Well, I feel like it has so much of scope because I've been a traveler and this is the first time I've heard of off-roading, right? And that too in Nagaland, which is, not as mainstream as other places that you get to travel. So I feel like this is definitely a one-of-a-kind experience, and for travelers, not just travelers, but just for people who are looking for a different experience than just going and chilling and sightseeing, this is a must-do experience. I read a lot about Nagaland. I heard that, Nagaland has 60 to 70% of tribes, right? So I thought, maybe I'd see a lot of people, from that background. But when I came here, I saw like so many cool, savvy, people who are just like everywhere in Mumbai, and I feel like it met my expectations in the term of beauty. Like all the pictures I saw did definitely meet the expectations, and sometimes it crossed those expectations because it was better in reality. And there were a few instances where the people I thought were, maybe not that comfortable with Indian tourists, but I felt like they were so welcoming, they were so heartwarming, they welcomed us into their houses, we shared, their rooms, we shared their food. I feel like that's not something you get everywhere, so that's definitely something I'm going to take back with me.
Well, that was it from the first Nagaland Off-road chapter, an initiative of the Department of Tourism, Govt of Nagaland, and also organized by the wonderful organization called Wander Beyond Boundaries. Well, this started on the 7th, it's the 13th. We had a wonderful 7 days of traveling, went to places that were unexplored, went to places that got explored, and also exploring ourselves. Well, we just heard the travelers that actually were participating in this whole expedition. It's been a one-of-a-kind journey. Well, as you go in a team, The team came as strangers, but they leave as family. Well, the Department of Tourism Government of Nagaland has taken this initiative to introduce the outdoors and the off-roads of Nagaland to the whole of the world, and we hope literally taking part in this journey has been an eye-opening experience. It's just been something which your conventional tourism has not been part of this whole journey, but the more unconventional part of it. But as we come back, and as we come back to Dimapur, as we came back to Kohima, it just made more sense to appreciate life as a whole, the small basic amenities and all the luxury that we have. And also the travelers that have come today, one of the best part, I mean, like literally, they were all strangers, they came. But this is called sustainable tourism, as to you go to a place, you don't litter it, you don't make the environment dirty, you keep with the norms, and you're not like the other tourists. So this is an initiative by the Wander Beyond Boundaries, as they believe in sustainable tourism, and also to make sure that they don't pollute the environment or they don't pollute the surroundings. Well, this was an experience to have never been experienced before, but this is the first Nagaland Off-road expedition team, and I think this was only a success. And as the travelers, 22, and it could have increased a little more after that, and whenever they think about Nagaland, we hope that it's going to only bring smiles, it's only going to bring happy memories, it's only going to make them think about the experiences that they had. And we hope that no matter what they do and through their profession, a lot more people can come and experience the off-road chapter in Nagaland. I personally thank the Department of Tourism, Government of Nagaland, for this amazing and wonderful initiative, and I believe this is going to be a source of inspiration to so many travelers, and also a platform for so many Naga youths, so many villages to actually come to the map, get their story heard, and also make Nagaland a unique and one-of-a-kind experience. With this is the signing off of the Nagaland Off-road chapter. Thank you so much, and we hope that you will be visiting Nagaland very soon, and we hope that you get the chance to meet all the people, all the lovely food. We hope you experience the culture and tradition, and we hope that wherever you are safe, and you have the curiosity itching in your mind right now so that you want to take a trip to Nagaland. Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you again. Take care of yourself.